Thank you so much for watching New Day Northwest. I'm your host, Kelly Hansen, and our first guest is a pretty big deal around town here, and we wanted to get to know her some more. We're excited to welcome Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson to the studio. Thank you for coming on New Day.
Very glad to be here.
Well, last time you were here, this space looked a little different. You were here for the mayoral debate.
Yes.
Obviously, now you've been mayor in Seattle for about 6 months. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. And by the way, like 5 months, but yes.
Oh, you're like, don't add a month.
We got a lot of work to do. No, it's been really fascinating, and I'm really excited about a lot of the things that we are working on. Really excited that we were able to announce recently like expansions of our preschool program and childcare and universal free school meals, making a lot of progress on opening up emergency housing and shelter. So it's really exciting to me to be in a position where we can really do things that are going to improve people's quality of life.
Definitely, and you listed so many accomplishments, and it might be hard to pick one, but do you have one accomplishment so far that makes you most excited, the most proud?
I'd probably go back to the universal free school meals because, as a mother, I really think about the things that we can do now that are going to support our children and support our families and put people on a good track for what the city is going to be like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. I think, in this position in the mayor's office, it's really easy to get, so many things are flying at you every single day, and you can get into this kind of reactive emergency mode. And of course, you do have to, deal with all those things. But I really think also taking that long view is really important. And so that's really exciting to me. I guess another just kind of fun one. I don't know if this is fun, but we, in advance of the World Cup, we've opened up 4 new public restrooms in Pioneer Square, and that is something that I think that neighborhood has needed for a long time. So I'm really excited to see how those work out.
Definitely. We've seen that all over the news. It's going to be an exciting time, and we're going to get to more questions soon about the World Cup coming. What's one thing, if you look back and reflect over the last few months, that being in this role is maybe something you didn't anticipate?
Yeah, I would say I've been surprised. So there's a number of different parts to this job, right? And a lot of it is obviously like making decisions about policy, making decisions about just the work that the city is doing day to day. But then there's the kind of like ceremonial aspect and representing the city and going out and, I caught a fish at Pike Place Market the other day. Like, there's fun things like that.
That's hard to do. I've done that.
And I have to say, like, coming in, I think my attitude as someone who is a little bit of like a policy nerd and not necessarily the biggest extrovert was like, I don't want to do all that ceremonial stuff. Like, I just want to do the work, right? And so I think it has been surprising to me, because obviously that's part of the job, right, to be out there. I'm enjoying that more than I thought I would. Like, it's actually just seeing how meaningful it is to people, and just it's really great to spend time out and about, talking to people around the city, just really getting that sense from people of like, what do people care about? What are they experiencing that the city needs to work on? So I've been surprised at just how much I enjoy that more than I thought I might.
Definitely, because when you go out, you probably get bombarded a little bit.
Yes.
You ran for
people
office.
Have a lot of opinions.
I bet they do. You ran for office with a progressive agenda. How has your perspective changed at all since you officially stepped into this role, would you say?
Well, I think it's, as the mayor, it's very important that I'm able to bring together broad coalitions to advance the initiatives that are going to make our city better, whether that's around homelessness, whether that's around public safety, whether that's around affordable housing. And so it's just a different kind of position than, as an organizer, as an advocate I was in before. And I've done a lot of work over these first 4 or 5 months to really build bridges in the business community. Many people in the business community didn't really support my election, but that's been going really well, and we, despite some of the things that you might see on the news, for example, in our shelter expansion that we're working on now, one of our big new sites is partly philanthropically funded, and so we've got contributions from Starbucks, from T-Mobile, from Microsoft, from John Stanton and Terry Gillespie. So it's been really exciting to see that kind of coming together around, we know we have to tackle the homelessness crisis in a more effective way, and that's really just something that everyone wants to see progress on.
Definitely. And speaking of the news, you recently announced investments for families, but when the cost of everything seems to just be rising, what do you say to those people that say Seattle is just way too expensive?
I mean, this is why I ran for office, right? In part, just that it's becoming so expensive to live here. And that's another thing where I think really everyone sees that problem, right? Including the business community, right? It's a problem when, you know, their workforce can't afford to live in the city where they work. And so there's a whole range of things that we need to be doing to tackle that. And it's challenging because also we know that the results are not going to be immediate, right? So we're working on changes to, you know, make it possible to build more housing around Seattle, because we know that part of the reason we're in this crisis is that we just, as a city, as a region, we've not built the housing over the last 10, 20 years to accommodate our growing population. And our population is still growing, right? So we need to do a lot of different things to tackle the affordability crisis, including, as you mentioned, right, making childcare, preschool more affordable. And we also know that there's a lot of pressures pushing in the other direction, right, including things that we can't control related to, you know, policies of the federal government and, you know, war, all these things. So I think it's just, you know, we have to do everything everything we can. Our local government is kind of the last line of defense for people. And we also have to be honest with people about, like, here's the levers we can pull. And there's things that we can't control. And I mean, I'm hopeful that that we're going to be able to make some real progress.
Okay, we like the hopefulness there. The World Cup, you mentioned it's coming to Seattle this summer, less than 2 months. Are we still anticipating as many people coming to the city, would you say, traveling here? And how are we going to handle that on the roads and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. One way or another, there's going to be a lot of people here, right? And I'm really excited as a soccer fan to welcome all these people to our city, to show. I mean, this is like one of the most beautiful times of year in Seattle, so it's really exciting to be able to welcome people. We have a goal collectively in the region of having 80% of the people who are traveling to the stadiums and to the you know, neighborhoods around the stadiums for the games, for the watch parties, to arrive by public transit. And our transit agencies are doing a lot to make that possible. You know, Metro's going to be running new free shuttles,
awesome.
And you know, Sound Transit's adding service. So that's how we're hoping to kind of deal with the influx of people. But I think it's going to be really fun. I'm also organizing a soccer game of elected officials.
Oh,
so stay tuned for more on that.
Sign me up for that to watch. We want to end with a really fun lightning round. I think this is really fun on New Day Northwest. I know it kind of puts you on the spot, but everyone wants to get to know you even more. So here we go. Coffee order.
Split shot latte. I'm low caffeine these days.
Oh, I know. I'm a decaf girly. Dogs or cats?
I'm going to go with dogs.
Okay, fair. Do you have a dog?
No.
Okay.
I live in an apartment.
Same. Pickleball or hiking?
Hiking.
Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, this is such a hard one.
I know. You could even give me
sure.
top 3 if you really needed to.
I like some that maybe like are not very well known.
Okay.
So there's a director named Shirley Barrett, who I think is really great, and she has a movie called South Solitary that I really like. I really like Chimes at Midnight, which is Orson Welles' rendition of Henry IV and Henry V Shakespeare plays. So we're getting a little obscure here, sorry.
Ooh, I like it.
I mean, you asked me.
I did.
And I'll just say, okay, when I was a kid, The Princess Bride was my favorite.
Best day of the week?
Gotta be Saturday.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Monday, and I was gonna get really excited. We're gonna be aligned. Last song you listened to?
I actually don't know the answer to that question.
Okay, then dream vacation spot.
Let's say Costa Rica.
Boom. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thanks for having fun with us.